Dude, she sent free to a 14-year-old. It's like such egregious behaviour. But all these people are bending over backwards to try and give her the fucking PR response. The idea that you're there discussing and talking about ways to try and avoid blowback by crafting the best possible narrative, you inputting ideas of what they can do is way too much. You're way too fucking close to the story. Long story short, and there's a person called Synnibear, and they were being, what's the right word? Well, people were saying they groomed a minor, essentially. Okay? And there was some dispute initially over whether or not the actions constituted grooming. Now, this dispute was undermined somewhat by the fact that Synnibear had admitted to having groomed. But, you know, they tried to walk it back. And they tried to do it by arguing about what, like, the definition of grooming is. And arguing the toss about it. And my initial thought process, when I looked at it, was, well, this person's actions are so egregious as to be irrelevant as to whether or not they're grooming. And then I reviewed the DMs, and I was like, okay, no, this could easily be considered grooming, because there's certain behaviours that were exhibited that tick the boxes of the stuff that Synnibear showed in her own video, in terms of boundary pushing and other aspects. But in any case, regardless of what you think about it, like, there's clear behaviour exhibited there that could tick the box of grooming. And even if not, what does it matter? Because this is someone who sent pornography to a 14-year-old when they were 20. And they went into, like, gory detail about the, you know, sexual fantasies they wanted to participate in. You know, I mean, the best case scenario is they were talking to a 14-year-old in order to elicit sexual pleasure, in order to, like, have a conversation about what gets them off. I mean, it's just completely absurd that anyone would dream to try and issue any sort of defense whatsoever. In any case, you know, I think that there's been a lot of conversation about this. Just a Robot made a video, and his video was terrible. He sent it to me to watch. I watched it on stream. I said it was terrible, and then I spoke to him, and it was, I'm being told by others, a complete, what, I don't know what to call it, man. I don't like describing it myself. What would you call it, chat? What words would you use to describe the conversation? I don't want to shut myself off in front of you, okay? Anyway, this Just a Robot conversation happened, okay? And there's been further developments from there. Now, towards the tail end of my stream and at other points, I've spoken to an individual called Kumo. Now, Kumo has actually been a good source of information on this, particularly about Just a Robot. So, Kumo is the person who sent me the DMs between Synnibear and Just a Robot. He also sent me his own DMs with Synnibear. And when I first spoke to him, you know, he seemed to paint it as, oh, I was just helping Synnibear out. And at the tail end of a stream, I went through them. And as I went through them, it was like, at first I was like, okay, so he's just helping this person out. Like, I think anyone is entitled to, like, a defense. But it soon turned into, like, this insane, like, you know, like, way overboard. It wasn't just helping someone out. It was like being the defense attorney to an insane degree. I didn't go over this on stream, but I did review some of the logs off stream as well, just to see how bad it got. And there's even one point where Kumo is, like, theory crafting an excuse to get around that they threatened death upon Birdie, right? And they were talking about, oh, did you take, like, some meds? Did you take some weed medication? Oh, you can say that that's the reason you did that. It was, like, deranged. It was totally deranged. So, yeah, I'm a bit like, you know, why are you acting like you're just helping someone out when you're going way beyond what is reasonable? And the other problem I've got with Kumo too is I actually spoke to him privately, very briefly, in DMs. And the implication that I got from him is that he was going to do a video and he was going to, like, do a mea culpa and take the L on the shit he'd done wrong. And I was like, okay, well, you know, let's see what happens when that comes out. And then I find out that hasn't happened. And what he's actually done is released a call with Synnibear. And the impression that I'm getting is that what he's doing is, rather than just openly taking the L, it feels like he's trying to, like, paint this image that he never really supported Synnibear that much in the first place. And this call, I think, is an effort to back that narrative up, where you can, like, have a public disavowal or criticism of Synnibear and act like that's the fucking what happened. And it's like, bro, the DMs are horrendous. I'm not saying he has to fucking, you know, I mean, he's a young lad. I'm not saying that he has to like fucking, commit Harry Kiri. But it just seems so insane to me that you can't just go, I got way too close to the story. Yeah, I was helping too much in private. There is even some evidence there that he did sort of come to his senses towards the end. Because at the end of the conversation, he kind of like comes to his senses almost. And is like, I can't help you anymore. I found this message. This is bad. And this is before like more of the public discourse happened. So there's even some stuff where he could point to and be like, well, look, I did do this. I did do this. But he's kind of like not doing that even. He is like acting like this never happened and he didn't fucking help Synnibear out. I don't know, it's crazy. Anyway, the reason I'm mentioning Kumo so much is he talks to Synnibear in this call, which is what we're going to be watching and looking at. But before that, something else happened. I see people in chat saying you don't know who he is. That's fine, it doesn't matter. All become apparent, okay? But Synnibear has actually taken down their response video. So, dude, remember the video where they were like, oh, look at this list of grooming, I didn't do this, and then they explained a bunch of crazy shit they did. So, looks like Synnibear's response video is down as well. So, just for the record, Synnibear came forward and said that they groomed this Eno person. They then took that video down to put another video out where they defended themselves on the basis that they hadn't groomed. And now they've taken that video down as well. I mean, what? What is happening here? This is like absurd. I took down my response video. I don't think it's appropriate to leave it up. I don't think I was right to make that video. It was way too soon, and I was still processing what I had done, and I was extremely emotional about the situation, so I put my energy into the wrong things. I was too focused on how hurt I was, and took attention away from the people I had hurt. My priorities have been in the wrong place, and I recognise that. It just... it feels like...
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I
this person was like so off the mark, it's insane.
Can we get the just her robot peeing video, please?
Okay, maybe later, okay? I'm trying to get through this at the moment. And it's like, the other thing that's frustrating about this, and I listened to Harmful Opinions coverage, and he said something that I was like, yeah, okay, that's actually a really good point. Because I do think that people deserve, like, support, right? I think that, if no one should be cut off completely. But if Synnibear is really in a position where they got no one, they got the suicide hotline. I know that sounds quite cold, but the point I'm making is there is support available. Why does Synnibear need all these people like Just a Robot and Kumo that are coming in and like softballing them and giving them all this support? Like, it's just absurd. That's for the family to deal with. So I think, before I've said, oh, well, I think anyone deserves support. And I think my position now is more so like, why does it need to come from YouTubers? Why does it need to come from people that are going to make public statements to defend you? It seems very obvious that Synnibear is extremely manipulative and is taking advantage of these people that are trying to be not nice to her and taking advantage of that friendliness to help her spin her narrative so that she can, like, come back from this. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you've got some problem, go and phone a fucking suicide hotline or something. Like, it's just boggling to me that she's got all this support. And then these people are, like, falling on the sword to, like, defend her and, like, to baby her. Dude, she sent pornography to a 14-year-old. It's, like, such egregious behaviour. But all these people are bending over backwards to try and give her the fucking PR response. What? It's mind-boggling, dude. They're getting babied through why it's wrong to send porn to a 14-year-old. Dude. Well, you see, the thing is, the reason it's bad to do that, and it's not even that at first. At first, it's like, oh, you were just doing girl talk. It was just locker room girl talk. It was beyond that. They were having, like, sexualized conversations. I don't know. It's just... These are community people keep talking about. They're just, like, totally deranged. I thought this Kumo guy seemed pretty reasonable when I spoke to him. And then I find out he's fucking deranged as well. Like, he's fucking in there, like, talking to Synnibear and coming up with excuses as to why they engage in certain behaviour. Oh, it's because you took a weed thing. What? This cut slut thing as well. Apparently, I've had a couple of people tell me this, okay? Allegedly, from what I've heard on the grapevine, I don't know if this has been verified or not, but this cut slut thing, apparently this Kumo guy had this cut slut cut themselves and then used the image as like their profile, as their banner on Discord. Maybe some people in chat can attest to this. But it's like, bro, like, you know, I get like bad allegations and stuff floating about and, you know, wanting to be accurate and shit. But dude, it's just like, what? This guy's got all this crazy shit swirling around him. And then he's talking to Synnibear like that. I don't know, dude. It's like, why are people like this? Why? It's just, it just feels like I've peered into the art community, and I'm just seeing utter insane
wonderful.
derangement.
But how do I make money
everywhere
off depressed people?
Only thing I know about Kumo, he's the guy got a girl that cut his name into her leg because his name was 4 letters, so he wanted to do less damage.
Thank you for the super chats. And then someone approaches you and you think, oh, this person seems like they might, you know, be chill, and they're totally deranged as well. It's like, just take an L, dude. You fucked up. It's not that deep. Yeah, I shouldn't have spoken to Synnibear like this. It was really bad of me to do that. Boom. You're done. Move on. But, you know, this guy was like arguing with Kumo on social media, apparently, on Twitter. What is this? Not gonna lie, this is annoying to see after the blood sports we had on Simpleton stream, but whatever. Glad there's a realization here. So yeah, he said that he was after mine and Beckett's stream. He was going to like do a video taking some L's. And I'm like, okay, good. That's the right thing to do. But he's not done that. He seems to have engaged in this like unhinged campaign of like this stupid shit on Twitter with Queeman. And not releasing the video and then releasing a call, which seems to me to be an effort to try and whitewash his image, having helped Synnibear previously, now trying to like disavow Synnibear. That's what it comes across like to me. You should watch Queeman's stream from yesterday where he goes over your full DMs with Synny. Might inspire some further reflection. I did watch it. I like Queeman, but he's confusing. 1 minute he was saying I was manipulative and I didn't care. And then when he watched the Beckett stream, he said I actually just wanted to be her friend and I couldn't have had an ulterior motive. Okay. No, I didn't. Listen back to your VOD. Find me a clip. I specifically said you did have an ulterior motive and that never changed. I might have joked that it's not your ulterior motive because it's your main motive, but at no point did I walk back or contradict the positions that you were being a complete freak in those DMs. I just don't know what the deal is here, right? Kumo was being a complete freak in those DMs, right? It's undeniable. And I think he's coping about that. Whereas if you actually look at them, I mean, at one point he's fucking coming up with reasons as to why taking a weed thing could be an excuse for engaging in like the death threat shit he did with Synnibear did with Birdie. Like that's like, you know, coming up with narratives to try and help someone defend themselves. Like the answer should be, hey, I'm going to help you. Make a response. Be honest. Be truthful and put it out in a timely fashion. That should be the level of fucking help that you're giving. The idea that you're there discussing and talking about ways to try and avoid blowback by crafting the best possible narrative, you inputting ideas of what they can do is way too much. You're way too fucking close to the story. You're missing a part of that, Chud. He says she was drugged by a THC gummy she willingly took because she wasn't told the mg dosage. It's just totally deranged. And I just don't understand this complete resistance to just go, do you know what, guys? I've really fucked up there. I shouldn't have done that. You know, I was too focused on shitting on Birdie and too focused, you know, come up with a little cope narrative if you want. You don't have to like, you know, necessarily go into it in total detail of every aspect of your thought process. But just a generic, like, I fucked up, right? I shouldn't have got that close to the story. It is like reasonable. And that's what I thought was coming. That's what I thought he was going to do. But he's still like coping about this idea that the DMs were like anything but totally insane. What else have we got here? Multi-tweet responses. Oof. Not looking good. Not looking good. Dramatic Lamal, go listen back to it. On one hand, you're misquoting the messages to sound weird deliberately, where you assert terms of endearment somehow equals wanting to fuck Synny. Then reassuring Synny and building rapport is manipulative, and you basically claim I was lying. Then you went on to say I had no ulterior motive and that I was just interested in Synny to rebut what I said on Beckett's stream. See, like, this could all be avoided. All of this spurging can be avoided by just doing what he said he was originally going to do and put out a fucking video saying I was wrong. And he's kind of nitpicking here, like, you know, the sort of details here. Like, you had a conversation that was way more than just being nice to someone who was accused of serious allegations, and to the point where you're theory crafting excuses for certain behavior. I mean, it's just deranged. What is it about the situation that's making these dudes act weird as fuck? Well, I think with Just a Robot, he's an autistic guy. And he hears a female voice and just loses his shit and is very attracted to it and behaves in crazy ways. I think with Kumo, I think it looks more to me like he was so focused and obsessed with this birdie shit. It's almost like he wants to use this as an opportunity to shit on all of his fucking enemies. And it's backfired because the Synnibear person is like totally fucking deranged. And, you know, he can't take the L on that. He's still got to take the win. Like, he's so desperate to not take an L to people that he can't just back down on it and go, okay, I fucked up. He's still got to win. Like, I think a term I've heard got thrown around is people are right for the wrong reasons. And it's like, at that point, if you're arguing people are right for the wrong reasons, like, bro, it's over. Just take the L. It would be so much easier. Just go, hey, I fucked up, and move on. That's it. That's all you need to do. It's so simple. You know, and the thing is, I spoke to him briefly about this in DMs, and the implication he gave to me is he was going to do like an unlisted response video. And to me, I'm like, well, yeah, like, you know, if you don't want to put it on blast that you fucked up and you just want to put something out that people can watch if they're interested and move forward, and that's okay, that's reasonable. But he's not done that. He's so crazy to me that he's not, you know, just taken what is the easiest option in all of this. It's going to hurt a bit to say you fucked up, especially if your enemies are going to use it against you. But that's surely easier than whatever the fuck this is. How am I LARPing and playing 4D chess by admitting I have more than one motive?
That's
You're a bigger
wonderful.
dork trying to
But how
elaborate
do I
your weird
make
theories.
money off depressed people.
Chud, time to moderate. Only you can help the relationship between Kumo and Kuiman.
Of course, yeah. I would happily facilitate that if all parties were willing. But also, you know, I don't want to steal Kuiman's thunder. Like, if Kuiman can get Kumo on his stream to talk about it, then yeah, do that. But of course, if it's the only way it can happen, I'll facilitate that. To top it off, you're taking my interactions out of context because it's selectively acknowledged that Synny is unstable. Being kind to Synny is in no way intimate. You're comparing that to Jar asking for sleep calls and blatantly flirting with Synny. Yeah, I mean, dude, I think that you can make the difference in terms of like what the intent is, but the behavior is still there. Like, you're still way too close to the fucking story, you know, given this advice, not even advice, the defense attorney lines to Synnibear. What else have we got? Nobody is running. This is presumably is in response to being asked to come on stream. Nobody is running. This is just bait for me to come onto a live stream and be treated in the most predictable bad faith. I don't need to waste my time, especially when he kept saying I should just make my video instead of going on streams. Oh, that's rough, dude. That looks pretty bad. Just feels like you're dodging. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's just like, he's come on my stream like twice. I mean, admittedly, the second time, I did press him a bit on some of this background stuff, which is why he sent me the DMs in the first place. Maybe it's like he doesn't like the combative conversation. But it's like, bro, what do you mean? Like, this just looks like you're avoiding confrontation with Queeman because he's got a lot of harsh criticisms of you. Anyway, I think we get the gist. But yeah, very, very cringe. But there's more than this apparently. But I think he privated his Twitter account, so I don't know if there's if he's unprivated it yet. But yeah, I just all this makes it into a bigger deal than it needs to be. It's just so mental to me that people just can't make the right decision, which is to just put out a video, say you fucked up real bad, do it once, and then you're done. That's it.